after the first playthrough, I feel I'm missing a lot of things. Like, there are parts of the map that I think is totally irrelevant. And there are tools and systems that I know it exists, but I never bothered to max it out and to put a lot of effort in it. And I never fully explored PAL's active, passive, and also partner skills. I know there are trees that you can get PAL skills from, and I also know there are bosses on the map that you can challenge and farm on time basis, but I never paid much attention to those. I'm a lazy gamer, and I won't complete a game just to complete it. If there's no good reason for me to do certain things in a game, then I just won't do it. So my first playthrough feels kinda unfulfilling. And unfulfillment also comes from another perspective. That is the combat in this game. Especially if you played Elden Ring or Monster Hunter. The game is just too casual. You don't feel the rush of adrenaline, and you're not excited for the fights, and you're not satisfied after them. So, if you feel the same way, maybe you should try my custom difficulty. I've been playing in this difficulty settings for like 200 hours, and I really liked it. It'll fix all the problems above and give you a totally different game experience. And by the way, you're gonna try this as soon as possible because God knows what's gonna happen to this game. Here's the settings in a logical order. EXP rate 0.1. The result of this is kinda interesting. First of all, in the early game, picking things up on the ground gets you EXP way faster than anything else. So running around and finding places with a lot of berries is a thing now. So for me, it makes my game experience richer, so it's a plus. And don't worry too much about it, it's only for the early game. After that, you will find yourself constantly challenging PALs on higher levels, and you will try every possible way to upgrade your PALs for that. And you will want to try everything you unlock and not to skip anything because you don't unlock things very often. Finally, you will end up trying to find and catch every pot to its max number to get the XP. So naturally, you will fully explore the map and be familiar with all boss locations. And interestingly, they just changed the max capture number with the XP bonus from 10 to 12. It makes feel like they know people are playing like this, like minimum the EXP rate, so they worry about there's not gonna be enough EXP for them to level up, so they change the maximum number. Because there's no other way that I can't think of for them to change this. Basically, with this setting, the game is more taxing now. There is much more work to do, and we need compensations. And there's the next thing we need to change. Damage from PALs, max out to 5. On paper, it's a double-edged sword, but from my experience, it's just double fun. On one side, basically, most cows can one-shot you if you don't have shield anymore. But it suits the combat in the game very well, because PAL's attack pattern is simple. It kinda reminds me the old Monster Hunter games where the monster is kinda stupid, but every hit is kinda fatal. So you really need to pay attention to their attacks. And as long as you can lock in, you don't actually die very often. On the other side, your PALs are super buffed as well. And I need to introduce the next setting, damage from player multiplier 0.5. This is just half your damage, so basically you will rely more on your PALs than your guns. In a game named Palworld, I guess no one is gonna complain about that. If in your first playthrough you focused too much on your technology tree to get guns as soon as possible, then this time you get a good chance to try every PAL's every skill. But don't worry about PALs stealing the show, because your PAL is capped at your level, and you're fighting PALs at higher levels all the time. So the enemy PAL can one-shot your PAL, but your PAL cannot one-shot back. So it's like you cannot just throw the ball and watch them fight each other. You cannot just leave your PAL there to do the work. You have to protect your own PAL by taking it back to the ball at the right time. PALs are strong, but player input is still needed and very important. And if this additional micro operation, this additional input bothers you, don't worry too much, because there are other ways to fight that will be available in later in the game. like directly use pals as weapons, or just fight on the pal's back. For the latter, you need to find a mount that is good to avoid enemy attacks, or you need to find a pal that can stun lock your enemies by either using a very OP skill or the right skills to constantly hit your enemy's head. Either way, it's gonna be a lot of exploration and fun. And don't think it's just sucker punch the pals and throw the boss. It's more than that because of the next setting. Capture rate minimized. Creating enemies' health is only a small part of the fight after this change. Most of the time you're trying to capture the pals. It's gonna be a very dangerous process because at any moment they can get out of the ball and one-shot you. And you don't know when the whole capture process is going to end. That'll make you sweat. But each capture is going to be way more satisfying. For me personally, it also forced me to figure out the best way to find blue spheres in the very early game. Okay, that's all major ones. Here's some lighter ones. Damage to player. Don't forget to change this back to 1 if you started from default hard difficulty settings. We already maxed out Pal's attack power. We don't need this anymore. Daytime and nighttime speed. Since the pace of the game is slowed down, this should be changed as well. And like a lot of people, I maxed this out. I'll just show you everything just in case I missed something. So that's basically it. Oh, just a reminder, if you made this far into the video, maybe you want to hit the like button. Peace.